P.O.L. Game Review.
What up, y'all? IntraVenus here, back with another episode of P.O.L. Game Review and Music. And today I want to talk about the PlayStation 1 on the Anbernic RG405V. This is the perfect console to play PlayStation 1 games, and you should be able to play any and every PS1 game really well, even with upscaling and smoothed out graphics. And the only reason you wouldn't be doing this is if you got the wrong ROM file, a bad ROM, or you don't quite understand how to use it. So I'm going to show you today how to add a game to the PlayStation section of your RG405V. What we're going to do here is we're going to switch to the Android mode with this button. And we're going to go to Files. Now here in Files you would be going to Downloads, as I'm not going to be showing where to download the file. This is Spyro the Dragon USA ROM, and you'll see here it's a .7z file. You just want to search on Google or whatever your search engine is. Search for Spyro the Dragon ROM on PlayStation 1, and then kind of vet out your sources and think about the links before you click on them. Don't click on any stupid ads, so on and so forth. So here we have Spyro the Dragon. I'm clicking it, and it's going to start unzipping here with our app. This is the AMC Extractor. First of all, we'll hit this X to get that out of the way. But in the last video, if you tuned in, we did PlayStation 2. This time we're doing PlayStation 1. You'll see here that inside of that file, when you pop it open to decompress it or extract it, you've got a .bin and a .q file. These two files are both equally important, and you want them both, so you're going to hit the extract button and extract them both here. So you'll see some ads. Don't click the ads. Hit the X's as they arise. When you extract it, you're going to need to put it into a folder. Here we have a spot where we can create a folder. It gives you some great suggestions down at the bottom. Spyro the Dragon USA is the simplest one, and I'll use that. So if I click that, it automatically enters it into the top, and we're going to hit Extract Now up here. Do not click any buttons that pop up down below. If you're using the AMC zip extractor, click the Extract Now up here. This is telling me that I've already done it. So it's letting me know that I've already done it. That way, if you're confused, you're trying to do it, you try to do it again, you don't know. This way, you're not doing it over and over again. So you know you've already done it. Well, let's just go back out of there. It's already been extracted. If you haven't extracted it, you would just hit the Extract Now, and there would be a bar that would load across the screen. You'll see an ad or two pop up for apps that you don't want, I'm sure, so you'll hit the X button as they pop up instead of clicking any links, and then you'll get it extracted. Now, once you've hit that Extract Now button and gone through the process, you're going to go back home and hit Files again. Inside Files, instead of going inside of your download folder, you're going to want to go to your internal storage. Mine goes to the AMC zip extractor folder. And if you've downloaded that same app, then yours will go there too. If not, you can always search up here for Spyro the Dragon, and it'll come up with the files. Say I've typed it in, Spyro the Dragon. We can go to one of the bin files, and we'll just hit these buttons on the side, scroll down and hit File Info. And there you can see where it came from, so you know for future reference where your unzipped files go. Let's back up out of here and go to that folder. Here we are in internal storage, AMC zip extractor folder. We're going to go to decompressed. And now we have all the decompressed files that I've done to date with my console that I haven't deleted or something. So we're going to go down to Spyro. All the way down to Spyro the Dragon, okay? We're going to open it up and peek inside, make sure there's a .bin and a .q file, just like we extracted. If you happened upon a .iso file, then you'll only get one file. That's fine, you'll just move that file. In this case, and in most scenarios I've found when playing PS1 and downloading the ROMs, is you're going to get stuff like this. So we got the .q and the .bin. Sometimes there'll be some audio files with it. Grab them all. You can either go like this, hold on to that, and then select everything by selecting dot 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 dot. Then you do this, dots, move to, and then we'd search for where we're going. But we're not going to do that here because it made a folder for us. We're just going to go back out of here. Let's go back. And the whole folder's already there, so we need a folder. We're going to hold our finger on that, Spyro the Dragon USA folder, and then we're going to hit the 3 dots. And we're going to hit move to. We're going to the SD card. That's where I put my games. You might be putting them on internal storage. I don't know. But either way, where you're going to put them is in a folder. Always in the same folder. You can name it what you'd like. I name it PS1, or I might name it PS1 Games. Whatever works for you. So we'll go in SD card, and I'm going to find that folder I made. If you haven't made the folder, you can go to add new folder up here and create it now. I've already done that though. Let's go down. PS1 is what I'm using. PS1, I'm going to click that. And I can move it here. I'm done with all that moving around in folders after I hit this move here. And we're going to see that it is being moved. And I'll go ahead and fast forward through this so you don't have to wait it out like I am. Alright, we've gone ahead and done the extraction. We've moved the folder to the spot we needed to. It's now in our PS1 folder. That's the last step we need before switching back to our game mode. Okay. I do want to let you know that if you happen to let your screen sleep while it was extracting during that point, or moving the file rather, you might notice that when you turn the screen back on, say it was black, you hit this to unsleep it, and it took a while. Maybe it seems like your console froze right there. It's still black. It's just because it's still thinking. This will happen especially if you're moving a really large file, say like a couple of gigabytes, 4 gigabytes, 5 gigabytes even, whatever it is. PS2 games are often large. Then that'll take up more time and thought process of the console. It'll take a little bit to unsleep the device. Don't start holding your finger on here, freaking out thinking that it froze. Just hit the button, put it down, and wait for the screen to light up. It'll be fine. Anyways, I digress. Let's go ahead and back up here. We don't even need to be here anymore, but if you want to, go ahead, home, close it out, clear up your RAM. You can just hit this here, game mode, and we're going to the PSX, which is PlayStation 1. Hit your A button if that's how you have your game set up. Some people might have their B button set up to access your files. It's okay. We're going to scroll down to the S's. And you'll notice here, some of these games have a lot of files listed. You're like, what the hexen? There's so many files there. And which one do I select? Why are there so many files? Well, this is the case where there was a .q, a .bin, and all these tracks for individual soundtracks on the game. You have to move those all in, and in this list here, they will all pop up, unfortunately. But you can select the top one, say for this one in case we're doing hexen. You would select the top, and it'll play the game. You don't have to worry about all this. But there might be a way to clean this up, which I'll look into in the future. And I do have one tip that I'll show you in a second. But we're going to Spyro, so let's go down to S. We notice it's got to Spawn, and Spider-Man, and Tomb Raider. Well, Spyro's not there. So we're going to hit the select button. That brings up this, and you'll notice that I have DuckStation as my main app, which I will also show you at the end here. But we're going to game settings, and then here is where you can show the path to your ROMs. I have a couple different folders here. You only really need one, but it doesn't matter. You can do up to 3 different paths for PS1 ROMs. So you find the folder that you created in your SD card, wherever it may be, internal storage perhaps. You'll hit your plus thing, say it's in internal storage, I'd select there, and then I'd find the folder, hit the check mark, and then it will do select. But I'm canceling because I already told it the route we're going. I put the ROM in the folder. It's one of these 3. We're going to hit start searching games. You see a quick diddly doop on the screen, and we're done. That's all you need to do. You're backing out. Now Spyro the Dragon is listed. There's 2 of them because there was a .q file and a .bin file. We're going to select the first one to play. And here's where we're going to learn our first tip about organizing this. Selecting Spyro. I'm using DuckStation. And although this is booting up the ROM right here first, let's exit the game and show you on this side, because DuckStation can organize that list a lot better. So if you go into your Android with this button, we're going to scroll to the side, you have DuckStation, it's built in. So you get DuckStation open, and it has its own list of games, of ROMs, just like the Aether SX2 does for the PlayStation 2 emulation. And this cleans it up to where you only have one file. Look at that, Hexen is only one file. Isn't that awesome? I have the first 2 discs installed so far of Legend of Dragoon. There's 4 discs of that one altogether, but you can see that Spyro has only 1 instead of 2. This is way easier to examine. So we're going to go ahead to Spyro, and we're going to do a clean boot. And the cool thing about PlayStation 1 on here is it's really designed to play PlayStation 1 and the older consoles first and foremost, even Sega Dreamcast, as it can handle it all. Every game you should be able to handle at even higher capacity than the console could have. We got it cleaned up, upscaling. You won't find any slowdowns because it's an older console. Look how great Spyro looks, by the way. This is the first time I booted it up. It's beautiful that you can play PS1 so smoothly, and it's way easier than PlayStation 2, okay? So if you stuck around for a while here on the channel and you've played my PS2 video about this, you'll know that you'll have to hit this button, you'll have to go to this eye, and you'll have to go change all these settings depending on what game you're playing to get it to run properly. This isn't the case here. Right off the bat, you'll be able to play every PlayStation 1 game perfectly. It's going to be great. And so instead, you can really play with how wonderfully you want it to look. You can make it look old school with different filters like CRT effects and stuff if you're an old school gamer and you like that. But you can also go to graphics, and we could set the resolution scale to 2x. And you can do texture filtering. Here's some of those things you can do where we can put on. You really have to play with this because this is a bunch of mumbo jumbo here. But let's do the Jink 2 no edge blending. We're going to close this out. It's adding all these filters and shaders. The DuckStation is really cool, and if you're getting used to how Aether SX2 runs your games for PlayStation 2, then you probably would enjoy adding DuckStation as your main go-to app for playing these games. It takes a second for these settings to load, and sometimes you'll find that a filter you put on didn't work out, so you'll want to go back. Now you will find that if you put too many filters on, you'll get it to start running slow, because it can only handle so much. I mean, how many scales can you go up? It's a PS1 game, so we've made it go slow. You just want to go back to your graphics. Just go ahead and put it at 1x to start out with. That's 1 times the original resolution. You could really play with it and have fun, though. You don't need to. Alright. We got Spyro the Dragon running. And it runs really well. Like I said, you can change all kinds of settings, but honestly, it's going to look pretty good right out the bat. So there we have it. Let's go ahead and get out of here. You can hit that button and get to your menu when you're in DuckStation, and you can save state, this is also a reason to go to DuckStation. You can save state. There, now next time if you open up the game, you can hit that button and go to load state, and we can go there. It's not that simple if you're not running DuckStation. Let's go back here. I've hit the game mode. We're gonna hit select. You hit app up here. You have 2 options. Yours probably is gonna start out with, as mine did, with RetroArch or Arch running PCSX rearmed. It works, but it's not very easy to get the menus to save the game or do any of the settings. It's actually pretty frustrating. And also, you have to deal with all the time that other list of apps, or that other list of ROMs, rather, that shows multiple of each game. You're going to have to deal with that. Because we got Spyro here, it's only got 2 files, but if you're getting other games, there's going to be more and more files sometimes. So I would recommend setting this to DuckStation. And then I hit save here, but it doesn't look like it ever saves. I hit save there anyways, and then I'll hit this button. And then you got it saved there, so you're opening into DuckStation. And when you're in DuckStation, it doesn't matter if you choose another file there, because it's going to go back to DuckStation first. So you're going to want to exit the game. And that's it, y'all. I mean, running PS1 games is really easy, and it just takes a little more know-how when it comes to those multiple files. But I've showed you how to do it. We've extracted the download, we've moved the files into the folder, and then put that folder in a folder, and now I've even showed you the DuckStation. That's all you need to know. So I hope you find this information useful, and have a wonderful day or evening depending where you are, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out.
Raise your sword.
Slaying skeletons, no repellent that they were selling.